Okay, so today I am doing a speed build for the first time in a really long time. This is the first actual build that I've done since Seasons came out. I uploaded that British style house, but I had actually built it before Seasons came out. So this is the first one. And what's kind of cool is that when I went in to do the screenshots, it was raining. So it's kind of cool that that shows up. I'm not used to that at all. So the sections of the house that have glass roof, you can see the rain coming down. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, I don't know exactly what inspired me to do this build. I really don't. I have been wanting to do some builds with glass roofs for a really long time. And I had, before the glass roofs even came out, I had so many ideas about what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that had like a solarium. I wanted to do like a pool with a glass roof, which is actually what this build turns out to be. It doesn't turn out to be exactly what I had pictured, but I mean, that's kind of how the best builds are, I guess. And I want to do something really modern because it's kind of not really my style. It's for viewing, it totally is my style. Those are the ones I watch the most. Like the Sim Supply is my favorite builder, and I love watching all his like super modern builds. But as a builder, it's definitely not my forte. I'm more into like the family house builds because I'm not very good at the modern thing. But I definitely want to expand my horizons a little bit, so that's why I decided to do this. The back section that I did with the glass roof turns out to be quite a bit different than what you're seeing there, and it also turns out to be the best feature in the home, I think. Once I went into this house to do the screenshots, I was actually blown away. It looked really good, but the whole time I'm thinking, like, am I even doing this right? Is this horrible? Like, I wasn't feeling super confident about the build. I did for the outside. I liked the outside. I felt good about that. I wanted it to be in Oasis Springs because I pictured this being like a super modern house in the desert, which is not unheard of. And so that's what I pictured this being. But I guess I didn't have a floor plan in mind at all. I didn't even have a family in mind to live here. Even though I don't ever really move in a house to play move in a family to play with the houses that I build. I still like to picture who would be living there as I'm building it because it helps to add, I think, character to the house, and it kind of helps me to kind of get motivated to, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I'm building this for a family, or I'm building it for a single sim, or whatever. And I like to picture that. And I think that it kind of helps me to be a little bit more creative. But for this build, I did not really have anyone in mind until I started furnishing. So at this time, it was going to be a family home, I think. Like, I was thinking, like, I don't know how many rooms. I didn't know anything. I had no answers. But once I got into it, I decided that it was not going to be a family home. I thought it kind of I pictured like maybe an older couple. Not older, not too much older is what I was going to say. That makes no sense. Not too old. Maybe like, I don't know, mid-40s, living in this house. And it's, a couple with no kids. And I think that they would, I don't know, they made the choice not to have kids. And because they don't want their stuff wrecked. Ellen DeGeneres always jokes that she doesn't have kids because she wants her stuff to stay nice, and she always makes these funny jokes. Like, I watched something where she said, I don't have kids, which is why I don't have fingerprints on my fridge. And I thought that was funny, but that's kind of what I'm picturing for the couple that lives here. They like their stuff, they have expensive taste, and they don't really, kids don't really fit into the plan. At the beginning, I'm trying to put in like a little walkway here, and I had something in mind because I did I didn't have a Google image for the front of this house. I did, though, for the landscaping. I was just combining a whole bunch of ideas that I found on Google for the outside of the house. And then that's when I came up with this. And so my vision was to have like a pebble walkway with like stepping stones along the way. And we do get there later. I found something that I liked, and I put them down. I think I found them in like the pool or the fountain section, and then I just placed them along that sandy, pebbly walkway. And so what I decided to do with this build is do the entire outside, including the landscaping, actually except for the backyard because I had no idea what I was doing with that. But I thought I would do the entire build all the windows, all the paint, everything like that, all the landscaping before I went inside. Because normally I kind of like half-ass build the outside and then go inside and just start furnishing, because I always look forward to furnishing the most. But I thought to myself, like, no, I'm going to stick with it this time. I'm going to try and just keep at it with the landscaping in the building and finish it entirely before I go inside. So that's what I did, except for the back of the house, because that had to come to me much later. I did not have any idea what I was going to do with the back of the house. But the front of the house, I think that it works out quite well. And so, yeah, I used a whole bunch of different pictures on Google from houses in like Arizona, and some were like the Australian desert, just basically like a desert climate. Even though some of the plants that I put in aren't quite deserty, like these two that I'm using from Jungle Adventure, they're not exactly fit for the desert life, but I decided I like them anyway, so I put them in there with some cactuses and like other little ferns and pokey plants. I don't even know what they're called because I don't have them around here. But basically, I got that idea from Google. And the rock, I never use black rocks. I only ever use the light ones. But I thought for this build, the black looked better. It matched the windows and the trim and the doors, so I just thought I would go with the black. And I did put that pebble in that area and just kind of filled it up with whatever. I don't know. The landscaping is just, it's still so hard for me because I'll watch somebody else do it and I'm thinking, that looks great, and it looks like it was just thrown together, but it looks so good. And anytime I do it, I'm like, did I get it? Did I nail it? Does it look weird? I can never tell if I nailed it or not. It could be just a miserable fail for all I know. But I'm not totally unhappy with it. I think the landscaping looked okay. Also, for this house, the biggest feature was meant to be the pool on the side there. It's like a solarium / pool. That was meant to be the biggest feature in this house, but there's actually something in this house that I ended up liking even better than the pool. I didn't actually realize how much I loved this house until I got inside. Once I got in there and realized that, I don't know, I guess because it's a very open floor plan, which most of my builds are. I don't like to use a ton of walls because then I feel like I'm limited. But in this one, I put it all together, I furnished it. It took a really long time. I kept coming back to it, and I've been doing like a ton of recording because I'm going camping for 10 days, and to me, like, I know I only have 23 subscribers. To me, it's not only 23 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of them, but it sounds silly to be like, oh, I can't just not upload when I only have 23 people who actually notice. But I am so committed to growing this channel and developing this channel, and I want to make sure that I stay on top of it and upload every single day. So I've been just doing a ton of pre-recording so that I can have at least one video, 2 videos on some days while I'm away. And so this is one of those videos, and it took me a really long time, and I was starting to feel drained, and I have to admit I lost motivation halfway through, and I ended up leaving it and coming back a couple of days later and finishing the furnishing, and I'm happy with it. At first I wasn't. There was a small part of me at the end that was only furnishing to get it done, which I hate doing. I always want to feel like I'm into it. I always want to feel like it's fun. I don't ever want to feel like it's a job or a chore. And I don't even like to admit that I felt that way, because then it seems like it's ingenuine. But there was, a short period of time where I wasn't into it at all, and I was just finishing to get it finished. And then I started to get inside and start looking at screenshots and seeing like how everything looked, and decided that I was super happy with it and it looked really good. And it kind of gave me motivation to keep going and to do my very best on this house. And I think I actually did do my best on this house, which might be sad if it doesn't turn out to be very good, to think, oh, that's the best you could do. But for me, at this stage, it really is, and I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't uploaded it to the gallery yet, but I will. I always like to get the videos uploaded first, and then I can put it out there. I'm not sure if it'll get a ton of downloads or not. It's funny because I upload every single house I build, and some of them get a ton of downloads, and some of them get like just a few. Like the duplex I got, it got like 3 downloads. But I mean, I get that because who wants a duplex? Like it's not exactly conventional, really. So I do get that. But then the finished build that I did for Sim Supply, because he uploaded like a shell of a house that was unfinished. It was a mess. Basically, though, I finished it and uploaded it, and it got like 275 downloads. And it's got to be because I put the hashtag SimSupply. That's got to be why. But yeah, so I don't know if this will be a really successful build or not, but most of my modern builds have been. So I'm hoping that it's well received. If not, though, it's nice to be able to just move a family into this house. I was thinking that my aspiration challenge could move into this house, but they just got a bill for $10,000 for their thermostat, which I have brought up many times throughout my videos. I'm never going to get over it. Never. I'm going to be upset about that forever. But that really is, they had to use up their savings for that. And so I don't think they're going to be able to afford this house. I could always cut back, get rid of a few things, and then they would be able to live here. But I still don't know if they'd be able to swing it. I am going to try, though, because again, I like this house, and at some point I do want a family to live here. Sometimes it takes me forever to actually move in a family into these houses, but I always check the gallery, and the first thing I look at is my house to see if maybe that's somewhere I'd want my Sims to live. And if it's not, then I download something else. But I do try to eventually use up every house I've ever built and live in it at some point. Nothing in this house is player tested because it's very open concept. I'm not worried about anything not working. I think it's all going to be pretty good. I really only player test things when it seems like, the floor plan might be a little bit tight or things might not work, but I'm pretty confident that everything should work in this floor plan. The living room's a little bit small for the house, which I'm only realizing now. Like, it's this big open house, and the living room's like tucked away in a corner there, but I'm more about like the open floor plan for like, I don't know. I don't even know what the word is, but luxury, I guess. Like you walk in and it's just this big open space. Not every single corner has to be filled up. Not every single wall has to be filled up. It's more about like, look how much money we have. We can afford this house. We can't afford to fill it up, but we can afford this big house. And yeah, it's more of a luxury thing, I think. So the kitchen doesn't even have the best part in it yet. That's coming at the end. I'm sad to say that I actually ended up doing this really cool feature that I've been talking about this entire time, but I ended up doing that really cool feature off camera because I came back to this build and I was like, okay, I have to do something cool here. And then I quickly just did that, and then I started recording like shortly after that, and I was thinking like, oh, I should have been recording this, but sadly I did not. So you don't actually get to see that part, but you'll see it at the end. And the pool house, I just used the same black rocks, and the screenshots at the end actually look really cool. I got like an angle from what it would look like if you were in the pool looking up, and that would be a room that I would definitely spend a lot of time in. I think I'm definitely all about pools. And so also, those pool things that I found for the walkway, going back to those, I still can't remember what they are, but I do want to remember that I can use those because I think they look really good. They're exactly what I wanted. I don't know what other builders have been using because I have seen other people do those little stepping stones, but out of something else. And so I need to pay more attention to that because I'm not exactly sure what those have been. Anyway, so since oh wait, hold on a second. I'm trying to see exactly where we are. My recordings, for some reason, don't always line up with my videos, which is really frustrating. And so I'm talking about something that hasn't even happened yet. But anyway, so yeah, that part that I did off camera, we've already gone over that. There was at the back of the house, there was like that half wall there, and it was going to be like a balcony. But then I thought, like, what a waste of space. I could easily just take that out and have that be like this big open ceiling with a glass roof on top. And then you could look out. And that's what I ended up doing. It was hard to fill that space up with light, though. So basically what I ended up doing is just sizing up I think I sized them up. I can't remember what I ended up doing, but I sized up chandelier type lights that hang from the ceiling up there, and then I just put some little wall lights along the countertops because I felt like that was just the best thing to do. It's hard to know exactly where we are right now in the video because I know that my recording isn't going to line up perfectly with the video because I did do this in 5 separate recordings. It was, yeah. This is sped up 6 times, I think. 6 or 7 times. Some things took me so long to get it done, and I was thinking, like, how boring is this? But then I thought to myself, like, no, I'm going to have to speed this up more than my regular 4 or 5 times. This has been my longest build, I would say. It took me a really long time and a lot of leaving it and coming back or asking my brother what he thought. Like, so much went into this build, and I guess it doesn't look like much, but for me it was probably the biggest build that I've done, I think. I don't know. I know I'm sure I've done houses this big before, but for some reason this one just took up all of my time and I still can't figure out why. I guess because I didn't have a plan going into it. I didn't have even like a theme or a floor plan. A lot of the times I get my inspiration from like Google Pictures, and then I even go to websites like house building websites. Like they'll customize a house for you, and they have floor plans of houses they've done before kind of in their portfolio, and I will sometimes copy those, or I will copy the outside of something, or I'll just find a picture of something and build what it looks like in the picture and just make up the inside. But for this, absolutely everything was made up. And so I think that's why it took me so long, because there were also times when I was just trying new things, and I always say that I want to try a new thing in every single build, because I think it helps me grow as a builder. I've been watching a lot of Simlacy, is that how you say her name? Of her builds, and she is incredible. She actually makes me feel bad about myself. So I can't watch too much of it because then I think, like, I'm never going to be like that. This is depressing. And so after a while, I can't even watch her videos because she's so good that it just frustrates me because, like, why can't I do that? I would love to do that. And she always has inspiration. It seems like she uploads so many builds, and most of my content is just Let's Plays because I could not muster up the motivation or the inspiration to build that much, and she just does it like it's nothing. And it just comes so naturally to her, and I guess that's how it's different for me. I don't think that this building comes naturally to me. I think that I builder's block a lot of the time, and I have to be in a certain mood to do it, and when the mood strikes, I make sure to take advantage of it because I definitely do enjoy building while I'm doing it, but I do find that it doesn't come that naturally to me. Furnishing does, actually, for the most part, I think it does, but building and floor plans, it actually takes a lot out of me because half the time I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But also, like, I feel like when my husband watches me, he just kind of is like, how are you doing this? Like, I feel like I do want to do a video where he where he builds a house. He doesn't know that I have a channel, but if he, I don't know, I want to somehow, there's no way to really do it, but I would love to record him building a house and see how it ends up and then post it because I think that would be hilarious. He would do something so horrible. I remember when we first met, when we were like, I don't know, he was 15, I think, and he had played The Sims before, and that's what made me like him in the first place, is he was like talking to me about The Sims, and I was like, wait, you like The Sims? And I was just drawn to that. And he's like, yeah, I like to build houses. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, show me your house that you built. It was a friggin' square, like a huge square. It took up like the entire lot with no roof. And I was like, oh, okay, like just the worst thing ever. And I thought he was like actually like a passionate simmer. No, that was not the case at all. He liked to dabble. I married him anyway, but it was pretty horrific to hear like, oh, I love The Sims, and then you see him build like the worst house you've ever seen. And he described himself as a hardcore simmer, and I was like, wow, you have led me astray. Thankfully he redeemed himself in other way. I don't know how, but I managed to get over it, and now he doesn't quite understand my obsession with The Sims. I think to him it's like, it's, I don't know, like casual or something. And I'm like, no, seriously, this is my life. Like, I can't get my point across. I can't be serious enough about it. But I would really like to somehow record him building a house and upload it, because I think it would be really funny. And it would make the rest of my builds on my channel look really good. So, you know, that would help me, I think. Creatively, that would really help me out. To see someone build something really terrible, it would make me feel better about what I can do. Anyway, so back to the build. So it consists of 1 bedroom for this couple, a gym, because I could picture the woman being very into working out and into appearances and things like that. And then I also pictured having this office space, maybe for the husband. I don't know, like maybe he's in business or something like that, so there's an office. And then I also put a sauna at the back of the house, so they have like everything they need. It's pretty good. Anyway, I think we're going to be getting into the screenshots right away. So thank you for watching.